So, Taken 3. Well, at least it's better than Taken 2. I don't know. I mean, firstly, it's just completely ridiculous, some of the action scenes in it. I mean, how he survives it, I don't know. I mean, it just gets more and more ridiculous than you can believe. Um, I don't think Liam Neeson's really been in a great film since, well, Run All Night, which was surprisingly really brilliant. And I like The Grey. First Taken was brilliant. Um, not really that much. I mean, since yeah, it's been non-stop, and this and that. They weren't all that good, and just sort of got a little bit. They put him in the same sort of thing, and they're not really that great anymore. Um, and I kind of have to say this film has the same problems that non-stop and all those other films had he's been in recently, apart from Run All Night, which I really liked. Because Run All Night was different. It wasn't just a carbon repeat of just some of his films, if you change some of the dialogue, but pretty much he says basically the same things and does the same things. Um, Run All Night had freshness to it and originality. I don't think this really has originality. It just sort of has ridiculousness turned up to 11. Don't get me wrong, the film's not terrible, but it's just quite flawed to say the least. And there's some bits that you just think, well, that's just ridiculous. Like Forrest Whitaker, who's a fantastic actor, and I always really liked him in his other films before this, but such a waste of a great actor. I mean, really, what on earth was going on? Me playing with wristbands and eating bagels twice in it, trying to figure something out, and it's just laughable. It really is laughable. And to say the least, more than anything, he's in a helicopter playing with a wristband. And then he plays with chess pieces and things, and it's so ridiculous. Honestly, what is going on in the script? Does it say plays a wristband because he's so bored? I mean, the whole cop drama bit is rather boring, and I have to say, nowhere near as engaging as The Fugitive was in that aspect, that alone. So that's boring. The whole thing of, oh, let's go after Liam Neeson if we didn't do it, that really kind of tested my patience, to be honest. But just, if you compare the film to The Fugitive, which many people have done, you just see that the film really isn't all that good. And that's why The Fugitive was such a good film. Because obviously it had Harrison Ford in it, and there was a drive, there was a motive, and there was things going on in it that were interesting. But in this, you just sort of think, no, not really. Just kind of barely average. And I don't think barely average is enough. I think if they really were going to do this and pull it back to Taken One standard, they should have done something a lot better than this. But then again, what could they do by now that would be brilliant? I mean, Taken Two was just a major disappointment. Well, at least, like I said, it's not as bad as Taken Two. I mean, Taken Two seemed alright at first, but then it kind of just got worse and worse as it went along and just sort of went rapidly downhill. But this just sort of stays at average sort of school level, and eh, it's not the kind of film you can go back to and go, oh yeah, look at that and look at that. Oh, that's so brilliant. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. In the end, you just think, wow, it's incredibly average, really predictable. I haven't got nothing like the Beats of the Fugitive at all with Harrison Ford, which is such a good film. And you just sort of think, Liam Neeson, perhaps you should just stop doing these action films unless you're gonna make a bunch of hits like Run All Night. But I really doubt that's gonna happen right now, given what's been happening recently with your films. Because that was the only shining example of what a good film was. Like a really good film. This isn't especially a good film, it's just okay. And I think given you got a director of Taken 2 who's made this one, it's really no surprise that, well, some of the editing is really rather poor, and some is really quick cut, and I can't understand what the hell's going on. It's just really bad. Like, there's one scene where you feel like he's fighting three people, but like, oh no, hang on, it was two. But it just makes out it's more because the way it's edited, and oh, it's just so ridiculous. And more than anything, I think this franchise probably shouldn't have gone to three films. I mean, the first one was brilliant, and then it's just sort of it's never gone up to that standard again, has it? So you have that, and I don't know what more to say really. I mean, that's about it. Just incredibly average. If you didn't like Taken 2, maybe you might sort of enjoy this. I mean, I sort of enjoyed it, but there were just things wrong with it. So, there you go.